Hey guys, hope you're doing awesome and having a great week. I wanted to film a short video today and I wanted to do that by asking you guys a few questions. So before I do that, I just want to pre-frame the questions. Last week we spoke about anxiety. We talked about that being in the midst of this pandemic, that everyone is going through some form of anxiety or suffering from some form of anxiety. Today on the news, they were talking about teachers and how that it's just a mess, and the teachers are like totally stressed out, and and because of what's happening in the classroom. So we talked about getting out of our own way of success, and we talked that clarity and discipline and will were three great starting points. But one of the things that's come up over the last couple days is this idea of loneliness, that loneliness is bringing a lot of anxiety out. So I want to ask you a few questions. Question number one: can you be by yourself? Or do you need to have someone with you all the time? When you're alone, do you emotionally eat? And usually foods that are not good for you. When you're alone, do you use technology and like your phone or your laptop and go on social media sites just to occupy the time when you're alone? Or do you call a friend and have a conversation with them? The reason why I ask is because I was going through a book that I read 20 years ago. It's a book called Simple Truths, one of my favorite books by a guy named Kent Nurburn. And he wrote this chapter on loneliness and solitude. So here's what he says. He said, solitude is at the opposite end of the spectrum of loneliness. If loneliness is sitting in an empty room and being aware of the space around you, then solitude is you being at one with the room. In fact, he goes on to say that by being alone, it's actually a great thing. It brings you back to a place of understanding your soul. And that if there's any, for the lack of better words, disturbance in the force, it'll come up when you're alone. And that's something that you can work on, of course, because you've had the time to be by yourself and not be distracted. See, because most people that I know, including myself, fear being alone because all we understand is loneliness. So I want you to take the time to just write these answers down and really understand how you feel about being alone. And then maybe we can have a conversation of how do we get to a place of solitude versus loneliness. Thanks so much, guys. Look forward to chatting with you soon. Ciao for now.